Hey, everyone. Andy Hall, me, you, we're here together. Let's start off with some laughs.
I'm glad I'm doing this special in New York because it's home. It's very much, it's a love-hate relationship. That was that's what we call a cheap applause break in the biz. Praise the city you're in. No, I love it here, but I do take the subway home every night, and I see some weird shit. Sometimes you see the people come on with the music, and I'm always like, please, I'm hungover. This is so inconsiderate. I was on this guy was like, all right, now all the women joined in. He actually said that in the middle of his song, and a couple women joined in. They must have been tourists or something. And he said, all right, now all the Jews. And none of us joined in at all, because it sounded like a trap. You can't be that specific. It sounds suspicious. You can't be like, all right, now all the Mexicans. All right, now all the undocumented Mexicans.
That's Sam Morrill, everybody. Very funny comedian. I've shared a bunch of his material here on the morning show. Great guy. I'd love to have him as one of my, as a guest for an hour-long interview. I'm going to try to find him. I wouldn't put him on the morning show. I would do sometime in the evening or in the afternoon, maybe. But Sam, he is a professional. A professional. He looks like a young guy, but he's been doing the art for a while. And I'd love to have him on to talk comedy. Hey, half an hour show today because I have to go bring a thing into a store, and because I want to do it early and not catch COVID. So it's a half an hour show. We're going to blow through one news story. We're going to share a couple of laughs. I'm still doing my Jenga show at 3 p.m., which is remarkably popular. I was looking through the statistics and the hours that people watched. So those of you who are tuning in, yeah, right, Jenga, popular. So everyone in the chat, hello. Negative God. I have to tell you this. My girlfriend and I had this discussion. She said, I woke up this morning, Andy, and this is the first real conversation we had this morning. She said, I was thinking about God equals the square root of -1, and you call him negative God. And I go, yeah, I know that. And she goes, it's really imaginary God. And it's like, okay, I can acknowledge that too. But now I have to shift my head around into thinking imaginary God. Though, I'm more about negative, the negativity of God. But I'm going to now say imaginary God as against the negative God. And you can think, my girlfriend's part of the creative team here. You don't see her, but she's part of the creative team. And so that was the early morning conversation. And that was literally the first thing she said. The first thing I thought of when I woke up this morning was about God equals the square root of -1. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Half an hour show today because I got things to do. I unfortunately have things to do. May I get COVID? Might I get COVID by walking into a physical store? Sure. Chances are low, but it's possible. I'm going to be double masking. Hopefully, I'm just going to be running in there and running out. I just have to return an Amazon item. But that's my big drama of the morning. All right, let's see. What's the question? Oh, all right. So if you looked at one of my earlier videos, a short, it's about this particular condiment, or really a mashup of condiments. And this is a lighthearted question. We're not digging deep here into the philosophical dirt, into the earth here. What we're talking about is salsa and mayo, the combination of salsa and mayo, which I personally love. I personally really like the combination of salsa and mayo. I actually made a salsa and mayo egg salad sandwich yesterday, which I love. I've had salsa and mayo together, but I've never made egg salad out of the salsa mayo combination. And I thought it was great. But is it a blessing? Is it a curse? Is it an abomination to the Lord? I don't know. But I would say it's my favorite my favorite condiment right now, or my favorite mashup. And so, yeah, I am. This is a hill I'm going to die on. I was at this. You might have heard the story before, everyone. I was at this company party years ago, and for the group, I was working with disabled people, and I was typically the only white guy in the room, because a lot of people who work with people who have disabilities are not white, and they're not guys. So I am typically a minority, strangely enough. So we were talking about salsa and mayo, and my boss said, "Oh, I really like salsa and mayo." And I jumped right on that. And I was like, "Oh, I love salsa and mayo. I can eat that all day." And there was this awkward pause in the room. And she goes, "I don't like it that much." Salsa and mayo is not an appealing combo. Well, I think intelligent people can disagree on this particular topic. Intelligent people can disagree. Simply Secular says, I make my own salsa and jar it at home. Yep. I've never added mayo to it, but what would you add salsa mayo to? Like I said, I made some egg salad with it the other day. And, but you like the Hellmann's? You like the Hellmann's, Tobin? Indeed. I've made my own salsa at home too, to tell you the truth. Simply Secular, and nutritious and delicious stuff. That's what it is. And this is an interesting question. An implied aspect of this important issue is whether or not the salsa and mayo combination only works when it's really cheap salsa or when it's low quality salsa. I don't think I would like a salsa and mayo combination if the salsa was homemade, if it was of high quality. That's what I think. Now I have to make my own salsa. Now I have to make my own salsa to run the experiment. Because my thesis right now is that I only like ghetto style, like really not expensive or not high quality salsa with the mayonnaise. I don't think I would like it that much with a high quality salsa. You don't have authentic Mexican food here where you are? Yep. God equals. Well, and other math symbols that are not allowed in the name part in YouTube. Well, as long as you don't find imaginary God insulting, if you find that to be okay, then I'm going to go with imaginary God. I just have to log it into my brain and make sure I do it properly and make sure I can remember to say imaginary God as against a negative God. All right, enough about me. Let's talk about me. Now, this is a joke. Let's talk about what's funny. I'm going to have a couple of funny images before we get into Rudy Giuliani and actually Fox News. Everyone, it's like as if this company is taking a shotgun of litigation and just shooting a variety of conservative personalities and organizations for an insane amount of money. But before we get into that, let's do a couple of memes before we get into the news. News, memes. I thought this was funny. Woman in the 1600s, I was just thinking men, witch, with a Puritan hat. maybe I think it's funny because I've been up to Salem, Massachusetts a number of times where those horrible witch trials were. Of course, I'm also a fan of this movie, the Quentin Tarantino movie. But yeah, I found that comical and thought I'd have to share it with you. Impossible God. I like that. You want to be called Impossible God? We have Impossible God. That's interesting. Impossible God. That flows. That flows. Oh yeah, sour cream. Well, I think I'm a New Englander, so we do have a decent amount of Mexican restaurants up here. I definitely, if people who knew me were here here, they would say, yeah, Andy, you have a pretty a boring palate. You have a boring palate. All right. So Impossible God, that's what we're calling. I like that. All right, let's go. Let's go with the next one. The far left wants a living wage, police accountability, and universal health care. The far right thinks a Jewish space laser caused the California wildfires and that Democrats should be executed. You know, for whoever thinks that both parties are the same, you know, if you're going to carry a meme in your pocket, if you could carry that meme in your pocket so that whenever someone tells you that both parties are the same, you could just take it out and say, look, Jewish space lasers causing wildfires. There's no equivalency between the Democrats and the Republicans. There's no moral equivalency. There's no, like, just in terms of the parties work, you know, like being reality based, accepting science. There's no equivalency between Democrats and Republicans. And what irritates me is when people on my side, our side, fall for the equivalency argument, right? And as soon as you hear it, as soon as you hear the other side say, well, yeah, you know, my side's horrible, but what is your side? You got to shut that down. You got to shut that crap down, because this moral equivalency, it's a bogus argument. It is a fake argument, and it's just to divert attention. It does. It irritates the crap out of me, and I see it all the time. All right. So let's talk about everyone getting sued. Everyone. No, just the conservatives who are trying to overturn the election, and it's a big number too. We were talking about last week about Rudy Giuliani being sued for $1.3 billion from Dominion, the people who made the Dominion voting machines. Rudy Giuliani himself being sued for $1.3 billion, but we knew that there would be more people being sued. We knew that there'd be more litigation going against Rudy Giuliani too. But it's a big number, and there's a bunch of people getting sued. So let's take a look at the story. Voting company sues Fox, Giuliani over election fraud claims. This is an AP story. A voting technology company is suing Fox News, 3 of its hosts, and two former lawyers for former President Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell. Oh, I dislike her immensely. For $2.7 billion. $2.7 billion. Just bathe in that Schadenfreude for a minute. Charging that the defendants conspired to spread false claims that the company helped steal the U.S. presidential election. The 285-page complaint filed Thursday in New York State court by Florida-based Smartmatic USA is one of the largest libel suits ever undertaken. On January 25th, a rival election technology company, Dominion Voting Systems, which was also ensnared in Trump's baseless effort to overturn the election, sued Giuliani and Powell for $1.3 billion. So this number is $2.7 billion, but it also encompasses not only Giuliani, not only Powell, but also Fox News. And we know that Fox News is having a lot of problems anyway. We know that they're hemorrhaging viewers. We covered the other day that Fox News is now ranked number 3 in terms of cable news stations. First one is CNN, the second one is MSNBC, and now Fox is down to number 3, where it used to be dominant. Oh, this is great. Unlike Dominion, whose technology was used in 24 states, Smartmatic's participation in the 2020 election was restricted to LA County, which votes heavily Democratic. Smartmatic's limited role notwithstanding, Fox aired at least 13 reports falsely stating or implying the company has stolen the 2020 vote in cahoots with Venezuela's socialist government, according to the complaint. This alleged disinformation campaign continued even after Attorney General William Barr said the DOJ could find no evidence of widespread voter fraud. For instance, a December 10th segment by Lou Dobbs accused Smartmatic and its CEO Antonio Magica, I'm sorry, that I just ruined this poor person's name, of working to flip votes through a non-existent backdoor in the voting software to carry out a massive cyber Pearl Harbor, the complaint alleged. 13 false reports on Fox News. And what do you get when that happens? Well, you get sued, and you get sued a lot. And there's more. Roy Gutterman. You got to feel sorry about Roy Gutterman. You know, with a last name like Gutterman, he had a very difficult childhood. My last name, Hall, walking down the hall, deck the halls. That was painful around Christmas time. My first name, Andy, Candy, Sandy, Randy. But this guy, Roy Gutterman, that's a tough name to walk around with as a kid. Roy Gutterman, a media professor at Syracuse University, said the lawsuit is compelling, a compelling lawsuit, and based on specific examples and facts and not frivolous claims. This is a perfect example of why we have the law of defamation in the first place, said Gutterman, a former reporter. Fox News Media, in a statement on behalf of the networks and its hosts, rejected the accusation. It said it is proud of its election coverage and would defend itself against the meritless lawsuit in court. Fox is, okay. I hope you didn't have anything to eat, because you're going to vomit something when you hear about Fox defending itself. This is a warning. Fox, quote, is committed to providing the full context of every story with in-depth reporting and clear opinion, the company said in a written statement. Let's see. It is in-depth reporting and clear opinion, but not facts. So Fox is big. Fox is big on the opinion, not big. Oh, wow, I just spilled coffee all over me. Getting a little agitated here about Fox. Fox is big on the opinion, not big on the facts. Maybe they wouldn't be sued if they were more on a fact part than focusing on the opinions. Let's continue. This is the most disgusting part. This is the most disgusting part of the story right here. For Smartmatic, the effects of the negative publicity were swift and devastating, the complaint alleges. Death threats, including against an executive's 14-year-old son, poured in as internet searches for the company surged. One of the executives, right? And I'm not here, I don't like oligarchs, right? There's no doubt about this. But the idea that some 14-year-old kid is getting death threats because of a Fox News smear campaign, it's just disgusting. And yeah, maybe Fox should get sued for $2.7 billion. They should get sued for every penny that they're worth. Jesus. With several client contracts in jeopardy, the company estimates that it will lose as much $690 million in profits over the next 5 years. It also expects it will have to boost spending by $4.7 million to fend off what it's called a meteoric rise in cyber attacks. For us, this is an existential crisis, the CEO said in an interview. He said the false statements against Smartmatic have already led to one foreign bank to close its accounts and deterred Taiwan, a prospective client, from adopting e-voting technology. So not only is a CEO's 14-year-old kid get a death threat, they're getting cyber attacks, but they're losing accounts too. Yeah, I think Fox News, Rudy Giuliani, this Powell woman, they all need to pay. They need to pay for the idiocy that ran out of their mouths. Brainbug, glad to see you here. I was on a rant. I was rant for a couple of minutes. I'm going to do a half an hour show, so I had to concentrate on my ranting. Brainbug says, appropriately, we report BS and you decide to sue us. What? Oh, it's so irritating. So irritating. Oh, Tobin, huh? I gave a kid named Mike. I understand, a hard time in school. I'm not going to say it because God knows the censors over in on YouTube would take down the video. Fox is screwed. They are screwed, and this isn't the only lawsuit. There'll be other lawsuits too. If things go well, and hopefully they'll become economically unviable, or they'll become kind of like the local newspaper for cranks or AM radio, something that small, that minor. Hey, Phil Lister, how you doing? Glad to see that you made it. We're just talking about the $2.7 billion lawsuit against by Smartmatic, the voting machine maker over in LA County. They are suing Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, and Fox News for $2.7 billion. Oh, dude. Yeah, we're talking about the Newsmax anchor trying to shut up the MyPillow guy, Mike Lindell. Yes. Well, this is what it is, right? And this is the beneficial, and Simply Secular. Thank you for pointing this out. When you sue people for running their mouths, for spreading falsehoods, there is this dampening effect over other conservative news platforms, right? News platforms. Because, Mike Lindell was on Newsmax. If anyone doesn't know the story, Mike Lindell, the MyPillow conspiracy crazy person, was on Newsmax, and they were just talking about one particular thing, one particular topic, but Mike wanted to start spreading out and talking about how the election was stolen from Donald J. Trump. And the Newsmax anchor just could not have him talk like that because because Newsmax would be sued. So this is an excellent example of how lawsuits can actually bring down the level of insanity amongst conservative news outlets. Oh, yeah. Oh, if you could only sue people for stupid, Lee. If you could sue people for stupid, it would be, it would be remarkable. That is correct. Yep. Yeah, in a rant. Yeah, 14-year-old kid getting death threats on the internet because of Fox News, the Sidney Powell woman, and Rudy Giuliani spreading lies. I despise the idea that he goes around trying to pimp his brand. I know the kids don't use the term pimp anymore, but promote his brand. Mike Lindell always has the crucifix, showing them that his pillows are holy, that his sheets are divine. Well, yes, indeed. Dr. Mordecai, indeed. All right. I didn't know if I'd have time for this, but I got a little video. We're talking about crazy evangelical stuff, crazy Christian stuff. Yeah, I got something up my sleeve. I got a little video to share with you. And I don't want to give any more of it away. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to take a look. Okay, here we go.
We need to take questions, but real quickly, when my wife and I first got married, we were poor and we lived in a house that wasn't insulated. And so we had a gas heater on the inside to keep the place warm. But because there was no insulation, the walls sweat. And in the closets, especially where it was dark and stuff like this, we just had mildew everywhere. And you know what I did? Instead of taking something and cleaning it off and repainting or something, I took Deuteronomy chapter 28 and read it. Mildew, you are a curse. Then I turned it over to Galatians 3:13. I'm redeemed from you. And I spoke to mildew and cursed it. And did you know it went away without me having to clean it and do something? It was a curse. And I rebuked the curse and I got free from it.
All right. So there is an issue about the volume. Maybe I could turn up the volume, right?
Real quick, we need to take questions, but
let's see. It's basically this gentleman. Here we go. Well, it's about as loud as it can be, to tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if this is actually helping. Can you pray mildew away? I'll play it one more time. It's a short clip. It's a crazy clip. Let's play it one more time.
Quickly, we need to take questions, but real quickly, when my wife and I first got married, we were poor and we lived in a house that wasn't insulated. And so we had a gas heater on the inside to keep the place warm. But because there was no insulation, the walls sweat. And in the closets, especially where it was dark and stuff like this, we just had mildew everywhere. And you know what I did? Instead of taking something and cleaning it off and repainting or something, I took Deuteronomy chapter 28 and read it. Mildew, you are a curse. Then I turned over to Galatians 3:13. I'm redeemed from you. And I spoke to mildew and cursed it. And did you know it went away without me having to clean it and do something? It was a curse. And I rebuked the curse and I got free from that.
He got free from the curse. He got free from the curse of mildew. You know, if this isn't a clear example of the absurdity and the toxicity of evangelical Christianity, I don't know what is. If you have mold growing in your house, you cannot expect to pray it away. It's mildew. It's probably going to be toxic to your respiratory system. And it's clear that he's lying, right? I don't think I'm saying anything radical here. That Pastor Warnock is just lying. If he had mildew, he never prayed the mildew away. Just because that's not how mildew works. That is not how mildew works. Right, Lee? You know, it's like praying away the mechanical problems of your car. That's not going to work. I had to get a new battery. For my car. Even when I was a believer, praying over my car, praying over the battery in particular, would not have made my car suddenly, turn on. Wait a minute. There was something about a litter box. Here we go. Good to see you on. Tomorrow I try rebuking the litter box. It's going to save me so much time. Indeed, rebuke the litter box. It's absurd. I thought I had to share that with you guys. All right. So like I said, it's a half an hour show today because I have to run to the store and bring something back. I bought my kid a piano so they could practice piano. The piano didn't work. I had to get a new one from Amazon, and now I have to bring this piano back. Now that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make this entire channel a lifestyle blog of some kind of overly anxious middle-aged man that rants about the news and evangelicals and plays Jenga. I think that's the new branding I'm going with here. I do have something. It's really funny. Maybe evangelical is toxic to mildew. All right. I got to start wrapping things up. I'm going to show you a funny video. This is crazy, right? This is crazy. I think it's funny. Hopefully you'll think it's funny. Hopefully you'll put a smile on your face. And after the video, we'll come back and wrap everything up. Let's watch.
Hey, this is Jonathan. I'm delivering your order from Brand's Pizza Palace. I just got caught by a roadblock or something. There's just a bunch of cars on the road. Fuck, they're shooting. Let me get down underneath my seat and get my gun. You pulled up on the wrong got an automatic down here somewhere. Let me through you, son. He's got a grenade! Hey, cease fire! I got a delivery that's going to be free if I'm not there in 13 minutes! And if you don't move, I'm going to take you out. Fine! Tell me you're ready! I got him! Okay, I'm almost there. I'll see you in a few minutes. Pizza's still fresh.
Oh my God. At least the pizza's still fresh. I thought that was, yes, a keyboard. We got my kid a keyboard so they could do their piano lessons on it. I thought that was hilarious. Obviously, the person who did those Christmas lights couldn't have done that whole bit a number of times because it would have driven their neighbors crazy. But I thought it was hilarious. I'm hoping to advance to rebuke level expert. I won't have to shower again. Interesting. So, hey, everyone, I'm going to have to wrap things up. Thank you for showing up today. I appreciate it. Monday, we'll be doing the full hour show, 9 to 10. Like I said, I just have to run off and get this crap done before the stores are flooded with people. And I'm doing Jenga at 3 o'clock. And like I said, oddly popular. Jenga is, but apparently I find it satisfying and meaningful, and other people who join in the conversation find it meaningful too. And that's great. Yeah. Have a great weekend too. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, everyone. Be good. And I'll see you on Monday, or I'll see you this afternoon, maybe. And maybe I'll be doing some stuff over the weekend too. I'm not sure. It's a crazy causal world. I could be doing all kinds of stuff. Be good. Take care.